I haven't seen you since the plague.
Yahoo!
This was also a manifestation of, like, Jim Henson was also, like, an art film director. Like, he liked art films, you know? And so he was like, I'm going to have them speak an entirely different language the entire time they're on screen. And if the audience doesn't know what they're saying, it doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
They're going to get what they need to from it. That's not what's important. What's important is this reality that got nixed by the studio. So you do actually hear them speak in an English form. There is behind the scenes footage where you hear them speak, and I literally, a little part of me goes, I wish I could see what that looked like and hear what that looked like. So really exciting in that sense. But as far as adult puppeteering goes, right, darker themes, more complex characters, really showing off what puppeteering can do outside of camp. Dark Crystal excels in that. And it extends pretty impressively into the prequel series that Netflix released a little while back. But there's a moment that broke my brain because I'm also a huge puppet nerd. And there's this one, oh my god, I can't remember their name. He's one of this new emerging puppeteers that literally invented a new style of puppet that fits on your fingers. And you do this like cross hand thing and you like do this thing. It's really hard to describe. They had a moment in the Dark Crystal prequel series where some of the characters put on a puppet show. So let me make that clear. Puppets.
So the puppets
perform puppets. And
that is
stunning. It's one of these moments where you're like, I can't believe that not only one did they pull this off, but two, it's so gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful. And there's still so much emotion in this like puppeteer. It's truly an amazing thing to see. Oh my god, I could literally go on. I mean, it was
right. I mean, yeah, we could boil this down for hours and hours, but like the physical act of puppeteering is such a beautiful like distillation of this idea of movie magic, right? Like this that to watch these things is almost sometimes to just like marvel and wonder how it was done, as much as you appreciate what is actually being done.
Oh my goodness.
Like a part of the fun of watching like these Muppet productions is like when you see something and your brain understands like, okay, this is a puppet, like how did they accomplish this?
Kevin, literally,
because your brain create
the shot of Kermit the Frog sitting on a log in the middle of a lake playing a banjo.
Right, it's absolutely like
you look at it and you
breathtaking.
Just accept it, and then when you think about it and you go, wait, there is a man underwater.
Yeah, there's a man underwater. He has a little TV screen down there, and he was underwater all day. Like he climbed underwater at the beginning of the day, and he stayed there. He did not leave.
Bananas. No, I mean,
it's absolutely
and then, the fact that they managed to pull off like Kermit riding a bike, the way that they integrate.
I never want to know how they did that. I know that I could look up how they do that, but to watch that and then to watch like the sequels make it like a whole fleet of Muppets on bikes, I want no part of learning how it was accomplished. I love this.
You want that to
just
remain
beautiful
in that magic. It's oh man, I wish we were having this conversation with Caleb because it lands right in that we've had the discussions between practical effects and CG,
And CG can be great. Like there's things that CG can do
great.
that
actually
a puppet cannot do.
But then puppets can do stuff that CG can't do. And it's just right in that. It's just wild. There's also a thing, not to continue on Dark Crystal, but it's literally one of my favorite things like in this world. It's crazy that I haven't brought it up before now. But like they for the prequel series, they integrated a little bit of CG into it. Just like with tongue. Like with the tongues, they made the tongues move.
Just practical with the CG additions or CG taking just practical just squeaky,
that
much
little tiny things. Just some glitter, some flapping of the tongue. And And I liked most of it. I think I had a weird issue with the tongue, honestly, just because so much of the suspension of disbelief with puppets is in the mouth specifically because it is so restricted in movement.
Yes.
And there is, some of the more advanced puppets, there's a little bit more animatronic, movement in, like, you get the nostrils. You've got things you can play with. You've got some small motors going on in there. But they added in the tongue, and I like the idea, but as someone, if they're using the tongue to make it seem more like they're actually speaking, someone that, when I look at it and I see the tongue kind of flapping around aimlessly while there's specific words being used, it almost takes me further away than if the tongue just hadn't been moving, because I look at it and it's, because, like, the L sound or the R sound, they're very, or like there's a lot of
the way we generate those are very specific.
You use your tongue, and when you watch someone talking, you can see their tongue moving in a specific way. We don't pay attention to it, but it's something we're all familiar with, even if we're not intimately.
It's innate. You didn't notice, but your brain did.
Exactly.
Your brain. That's why when something is ADR, or like the dialogue is just off from the lips movement, there's just, your brain tells you instantly,
you can tell
something's not right here. Or when there's a CGI effect and the shadow isn't right, your brain just like knows, like, no, this is not correct. It just knows.
It's like what would the term be for, like, the uncanny valley as applied to the other textures in the scene? You know what I mean? Like, that's what that kind of is. It's like just close. And with the CG tongues, I looked at it and I was like, okay, that character clearly just said an L, but the tongue was doing all sorts of gymnastics.
Right, and I can buy the L if the tongue never moved.
Exactly, but once you start seeing the tongue, yes, exactly. That was my only qualm with the addition of CG in it, because I thought it really did manifest in some really exciting effects in the way that they pulled off these characters.
And you probably didn't notice thousands of effects that were pulled off properly, and it was just like this tongue that created this disconnect.
No, there were other little ones that I didn't really think about. I was just like, wow, this is just an advanced, like when the characters, like when certain characters fly, or like when there's like magic going around and there's just like glittery, like it just made sense. I was like, yeah, of course, naturally, please do put that in. That makes it better, you know? Like, give it that extra texture, because, why not,
Absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, add a little glitter in there. What's the point? Like, if the first couple episodes of WandaVision didn't prove to us that, like, putting a little glitter in there really adds, like, that special spark, that special spice, or honestly, some of the, like, best special effects I've ever seen, stuff that, like, really made me, like, stand back and notice, was in this, like, garbage movie that MST3K was joking over. And I could not tell you the name of it for the life of me, but I love MST3K, and that has a very particular approach to puppets. Like, the puppets are not super advanced, and that's part of the charm.
MST3K? Right.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh!
That's okay. But it was some fucking...
I should.
Oh, it's fun. It's charming.
Yeah.
But the movie they were watching had, like, a wizard doing special effects, and it was made at such a time that, like, you couldn't just go into the computer and make that happen. So, like, the wizard's lightning effects are, like, drawn onto the celluloid with, like, this vibrant blue, and it's just, like, one of the coolest looking things I've seen in a movie. And the movie's terrible. The movie is no good.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Lost Kingdom, it's something to that effect, but also every fantasy
it's a movie that was on
title
Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like, of course it's not a great movie.
Right. But it's just this, like, breathtaking bit of film effect. These moments, like, because your brain naturally learns how to watch things, right? Or as this process goes on. So there's things you learn to write out, or your brain could automatically program, like the tongue thing, is that like, I understand that Fozzie Bear is talking, even though he's just flapping his mouth open and closed. There's no articulation to the mouth.
But I think also, playing off of that, and I don't mean to cut you off too much, I just want to jump in real quick with the idea that the reason why Jim Henson's Creature Shop and the Muppets are so successful is because they have really done exceptional work in the art of puppeteering, that they know how to get the mouth movements to look like they're actually saying what they're saying, right? When it comes to, because it's like, sometimes there's phrases that you just can't possibly move your hand quite as fast as you would actually need to, you know? And knowing when you can go, okay, even though this is 2 syllables, this is actually only 1 mouth movement. Like, they've got it down so wonderfully. And that's what that is. That, like, just those creative solutions to practical effects. Oh my god, I'm literally inundated with, Kevin, you need to watch The Dark Crystal.
I can't believe we're doing this in the season 4 episodes that are not puppet related. Like, I can't. We need to table this, if only because we're going to be, I'm sure, talking about this for hours 2 weeks from now.
Oh my god.
You know, I'm for sure we are just going to like lose our minds in 4 episodes when we're actually going to be talking about puppets. But I love puppets. Puppets are cool.
So seriously though, watch great. Dark Crystal. It's like the number of times, and I'm fully hoping for either a live tweet from you or like messages while you're watching it. There's several moments where I'm just imagine you literally being like, seriously, how the fuck did they do that?
Right, and that's part of the magic, and it doesn't really like take me out of it, because I respect the art of creating CGI. Like, it truly is like a talent and an art form onto itself. But it does remove this idea of how did they do that, because I know how they did that. They put it in the computer, like that. It can be interesting to learn. Yeah, it can be interesting to learn, like, oh, there's a particular way they do particles on this, blah, blah, blah. That can be very interesting. But there's something about being there in the moment, and especially, like, watching something that came out and was made at a point that you know they don't have that. And so it's like, how is it even possible that they made... the easiest example is The Wizard of Oz. Like, how is it even possible that this film was
just one of those things that literally makes you just like question everything. You're just like, like, whoa, like that sense of, it's literally, and when I say take the magic out of magic, I mean like going to a magic show as a child, right? Even as an adult, let's be honest. If you see a really good magician, you're like,
no, it fucks me up. I'll sit there for hours and watch, like, even like Penn and Teller. I'll just like sit there and I'll be like, how were they? How did they? How were they?
Half of the time that I'm awake when I should be sleeping. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like
absolutely.
Go, wow, like wow. You know, is it corny? Is it campy? Is it cheesy? Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Live for it because there's something about it that goes, okay, I know. First of all, you're in disbelief and you're like in awe and you're like, you buy it so immediately and so easily. At the same time, there's also something in the back of your head going, seriously, how did you do that? How did you?
No, but seriously, how did you? No, but seriously,
right, exactly.
Did I mention to you the movie In and of Itself? Has that come up so far on the show?
Oh, I don't think so.
I watched it on Hulu a couple weeks ago, and it like just hit Hulu like earlier this year. Already like a front runner for basically my movie of the year. It's actually directed by Frank Oz to somehow wrap this all together. And it is a film stage performance, but it's like also remarkably well directed.
So it's a film stage. I actually love film stage performances, and I think
if they're done really well, they're like really good. It's like there really is nothing that can replace.
I have never seen something with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's like, you can't believe it, right? So it's In and of Itself, and I'm actually not going to tell you much about it, because it truly should be watched knowing as little as possible.
I'm excited. I'm going to watch this with Jessie Cat later.
But, you absolutely should, and if you're like me, you'll just, like, weep. But it's exquisitely well done, and there's such an excellent use of practical magic in this show. There's like not only like, you know, the sleight of hand card trick stuff, and he pulls off some fucking card tricks in this that you're like, literally, how do you do this? And the answer is always, oh, I practiced this for thousands of hours to learn to do this one thing, is usually the answer that is correct. But they also have so much good, like, practical effects on the stage, and it's all done remarkably well. Just, I'm not going to say anything else about it.
It looks,
and this goes for our audience as well.
It ticks so many of my boxes: live performance, Frank Oz, magic. I'm like, let's go. I'm already hooked, and I haven't even seen a second of it.
Absolutely, and I will not tell you anything else about it. The only thing I will say is that it was like performed very close to where I used to work, and I was like, "What is this show?" And I never went to see it, and now I'm like furious. Now I'm just
where
like,
was
upset.
it? Where was it?
It was it's that theater that's like, it's not like a Broadway. It's like right off Union Square.
The off-Broadway stages.
It's like across from like Breadco. It's
Breadco.
Oh
my God, you're from St. Louis. Panera?
Yeah, whatever. It was Breadco first. Breadco was its first name. But you're right, I am from St. Louis. Yeah. You're right. That was unintentional.
In New York, it's Panera.
I don't care. It's Breadco.
That literally just threw me so hard.
You're right. I didn't realize that would be a rational disconnect for you.
Louis.
I forget. And because you know, you're so closely affiliated with one of my best St. Louis friends that it's like, oh, I just assume you're from St. Louis, but that doesn't check out. That doesn't make any sense.
No, but I love that you're also, we're literally talking about a New York location and you call it Breadco as if it somehow has the same name.
That's what I know it to be. That's what I refer to it as.
Funny. Yeah. It's a Panera because it's in New York, but it is Breadco because St. Louis.
But it is Breadco. It's like calling a Carl's Jr. a Hardee's. It's like, yes,
I've
correct.
literally never seen either of those. Like, I grew up, it's like Checkers and Rallies, you know what I'm talking about? Right?
For sure.
Like, I've only seen Checkers. I firmly believe that Rallies don't actually exist.
Rallies was what was advertised to me in Missouri. So that must be part of the region. But there wasn't one anywhere close to me.
Maybe Missouri just renames everything to be something slightly different than the
just
rest
completely rebrand some horseshit, because we did have a Hardee's in my hometown. So yeah, so I can confirm that Missouri
what is it with Missouri and picking the
localizes all of these. Missouri has a lot of things wrong. I will not sit here and tell you we got everything figured out.
The Midwest? What are you talking about? They got everything right.
What's the issues? Josh Hawley? This is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, podcast where we watch and talk about the American television comedy Community, 1 or 2 episodes at a time. We are the premier podcast of the Yahoo Screen podcasting network. I am one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan, and you're probably feeling a strong urge to sleep with me right now, and I want to tell you that is normal.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm Jace. I use they, them pronouns, and today I'm really, I feel a very strong connection. I feel like I personally relate to the idea of a casserole that's all marshmallow. I feel like that is me in most contexts. I know they say you are what you eat, but like genuinely, I am a casserole that's all marshmallow.
I love that for you. I support you in your personal journey of being a casserole that is all marshmallow.
What is your casserole gender of the day? Mine is
what's your
marshmallow, a hair of yam underneath.
Sure, I'm thinking I might be a green bean casserole today.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. I took a personal day. I took like a mental health day. Today. So I'm in a little zone. I'm in like a particular little place right now. Got some stuff done, watched some flicks. Anyway, we are moving on with our lives. Daddy host will not be joining us. He is on assignment tonight.
It's classified above top secret. We would share if we were allowed to, but he will murder us if we tell you.
Absolutely. We would tell you, but we would have to set off a kill switch on all of your iPhones where you're listening to this. We would have to.
FBI, we're joking.
Yeah, we're joking. It would definitely not be like that Stephen King story, The Cell, where cell phones make everyone go crazy. It would not be that.
What if phone but too much?
What if phone but too much? You know, what if phone but bad? Hey, I'm going to go over to Black Mirror and I'm going to pitch what if phone but bad.
And they'll be like, we've already done that. And you'll be like, which episode?
That's the premise of our show.
5% of them. Black Mirror literally means phone screen.
Yeah, phone screen. What if phone but bad? That's my ripoff that I'm gonna shop around to other networks who can't have Black Mirror.
Can we please just like write some shitty Black Mirror scripts that are satire Black Mirror scripts, and they're literally just called What If Phone But Bad?
What if phone but bad? Oh, did I ever show you the list of fake Black Mirror titles that I made?
You have this.
Oh, yeah, because I for no reason, I feel contempt against Black Mirror. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. What if phone but bad?
I mean, here's the deal, especially after their most... I mean, look, they started off very strong. Their most recent season, I was like, honey.
Honey. I'm not going to read all of them, but would you like to hear a few?
Yes, I didn't even think I had to mention. Yes.
Okay. Computer bad. What if Snapchat killed you? Online? All caps 3 question marks. BuzzFeed buzzards and TMZ crows. There's an app for death.
Wait, are there premises to any of this, or is this just
No, I just wrote titles. The titles are usually also premises.
Titles. I was just like, okay, got it. And I was like, but what happened?
Likes are like heroin. Or sex. One of those.
I love a good iPhone notes joke. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like a half-formed idea that's very clearly only a half-formed idea.
You get up there on stage at the open mic night and you're like, like, comment, and submit? Is that anything?
Oh, that's good. That one's good. Like
Google Cal Amity?
Oh, boo. Boo.
TLDR, too long, die reading. These are... I realize in writing these, I'm actually just writing, like, a technological version of Goosebumps. That's
oh my
basically
god!
what I'm doing here is say cheese and die. Is what
well, I mean, it's all the same. I mean, Black Mirror is just a contemporary take on Twilight Zone and Goosebumps. Right. It's all the same family.
It's all the same thing, but I think Black Mirror tries too hard to have a message every episode, whereas oftentimes Goosebumps or Twilight Zone would just be like, "What if this weird thing happened? Wouldn't that be messed up?"
I think it's also wild because like when talking about, I love that we're like, okay, we're gonna start talking about Community, and then we immediately veered off because we just don't want to. But like I think first of all, I think of San Junipero, which is one of my favorite episodes in the entirety of Black Mirror, and it's not one of the spooky, scary, what if phone but too much episodes. It's like, what if tech but aw? What if computer but gay? And it's just like, in the good way, not the way that they did it in...
What if computer but gay?
What if computer but gay? I would love to... leave a comment if you can. What if computer but gay?
Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts telling us your favorite fake Black Mirror title.
But like, oh man. Oh,
glad I saved that.
But that one, and then I also think of another one that I don't really think there's much of. There's too much. I mean, I guess there is a bit of a meaning in it, but literally the Star Trek one. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen a lot.
There's one that's worth watching. That's like they imitate the aesthetics of like an old Star Trek. I don't want to say too much because if you do watch it, I
like Star Trek.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay.
Check that one out. I wish I could tell you which season or which episode. But
I'll Google Black Mirror Star Trek and something.
It'll pop up. You'll know which one it is. Yeah.
Something will come up.
Speaking of what if computer but gay, that made me think. And literally coming into Community, like this is actually this is one of my best segues ever. You're gonna love this. The way that they refer to gayness in these 2 episodes feels decidedly more homophobic than the way they refer to gayness in every single episode before this season.
I love that we're about to talk about this.
Literally, I don't want to get too far ahead because the big case is in actually episode 6, but we do mention it a little bit at episode 5.
Yeah,
I think fully it's in episode 5 specifically though. It becomes crystal clear that they're no longer making jokes to be like, look how fucked up this is. They're literally just being offensive. Like there's one.
Yeah, that is. And that is where they've crossed this Rubicon here, where it's like there's always been Jeff is gay jokes. There's always been, what is the dean's sexuality jokes. Those are ingrained in this show. But it always felt like the joke was on the person who would dare ask that question or make that assertion, right? It's always Pierce.
Right, it's always like, look how stupid you look, as if that was a bad thing. You're saying that like it's bad. You're
saying that like it's bad, but something that I'm encountering frequently in this season that I hadn't before because I'd A, not been asked to analyze them, and B, not seen them in 8 years, and in those 8 years I've like developed, I think, some media analysis skills.
Developed as adults and human beings.
I've developed as adults. My personal like viewpoints have really like improved, in my relation to these issues.
We're getting better with this little fun thing called accountability.
Accountability culture. Yeah, exactly. So it's becoming frequently anything. It's something I'm really butting into in this season.
Yeah, this season.
But before we say what you go,
I was just gonna say this season very clearly like hits you with certain lines that make you go, And the thing that makes it even worse is some of the time it comes from characters that you're like, but we've seen examples of you doing something that would actively make it seem that you would never say something like this. And I'm talking specifically about Troy when we get to Batman at Thanksgiving, which we will get
to. My God. Okay. I have so much to say about Batman at Thanksgiving. First, before we fully transition, I just want to say that just a shout out to the community on Twitter, who I was not online much today because I wasn't working. And
are you talking about that that I sent you earlier? That picture?
No, that one is very good. The WandaVision Troy and Abed.
Oh my God, I loved that. That was so cool.
That was very, very good. But I just posted like that image of Elroy at Garrett's wedding. This is a man, and like the community online space is such a body that like that can get hundreds of likes, and the replies to that are all just, now this is a social media account that knows how, and I was just like, I love you all so much.
I almost replied to that, but I was like, I'm literally gonna see you in like 10 minutes. I don't need to take up more space for like fan interaction. I literally was like, I saw that picture. You know how like when you see a meme and it's like a screen grab from something that you love, and there's literally that picture also didn't have a subtitle thing on it that I was aware of. Nope. Maybe it did. It didn't, but I heard it.
Yeah, I heard. Like, I love pictures and gifs that you can hear,
that I can,
even though they do not contain.
And I was like, oof, But okay, back onto point though. In this first episode, there is a moment where they're referring to Black Friday. Shirley says something about Black Friday. And then Pierce says, well, you can say that. Also,
we're going to keep calling it Jew
Friday. And I was like, there was no redeeming quality to that joke. That was literally just an anti-Semitic joke. Because at first I went, I don't understand why he's calling it Jew Friday. There's no clear answer for it. They were like, oh, in his mind, blacks and Jews are both, whatever that is, right? Black people and Jewish people. And then I went, no, it's the biggest sale day of the year.
Indeed,
this is a anti-Semitic joke that they just tossed in there because they were like, we can get away with it. It's Pierce. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Yes. Because there's also no way Annie would let him get away with that.
100% that. Okay. So, Season 4, Episode 5.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Cooperative Escapism in Familial Relations. Directed by Tristram Shapiro, written by Steve Basilone and Annie Mabane. In this episode, Britta goes with Jeff to meet his estranged father, and special guest star Adam Devine. Also, the rest of the study group goes over to Shirley's for Thanksgiving, and it is a Shawshank Redemption parody. Loosely, but also exclusively, and also that's all it is. Exactly. I don't have much to say about that plot line is because they go, oh, this Thanksgiving with people's families is kind of like prison. End of exploration of idea.
You can. It's like they were like, shit, we need to make this somehow an Abed plot about referencing a movie, and it was just like, dude, what is happening?
You know, and Shawshank Redemption, you know, it's the #1 movie on IMDb, like the best reviewed movie on the entire site.
Never seen it.
It's fine. It's good. You know, it's like it. You know, no notes.
I've heard it's
but
good.
Like not
no notes, but like I wouldn't pick to watch it on a Friday evening with the friends.
It's good. But also that's all this plotline is a Shawshank Redemption reference, right? And it's like we don't even get into the rich history of American fiction set in our penal system, right? There, you know, wouldn't it have been so easy to do a Cool Hand Luke where Luke eats 50 eggs, but you set that at Thanksgiving? Isn't that just like an easy thing you could do?
I don't get that reference, but I think you could. I think it. I agree. It would have been
it's
much
a classic
more
cinema thing.
Sure,
it's a thing.
I assume so, considering that you know it and I don't. That means it's classic cinema.
We have our specializations. We round each other out. You could do that, but there's no like. There's no Green Mile in here.
No,
there's no Oz, the HBO show.
Much more
like,
effective.
There's just
like doing instead of one thing, kind of like roughly for the entire episode, just making a bunch of small prison references. Like they kind of play with the idea that Abed kind of goes, maybe it's not this, maybe it's this. He goes, maybe it's not, maybe it's Prison Break, the TV show. Like, what if it was literally just Abed actually not really that affected by what's going on because he lives for the drama and isn't really involved?
Sure.
And so the entire time he's trying to figure out what reference he should make to a bunch of different prison dramas. That would have been more effective in my mind, but they don't pay me to write these TV shows. So what do I know, right? You know, it's...
They don't pay me the big bucks to write this TV show.
And
I don't think in concept this plotline is bad. And I think we're just getting this plotline out of the way because it's pretty like light. There's not a ton to discuss here.
No, we've got to get to Adam, who knockout job.
Jeezy, Creasy, we must get to the main plotline of this episode. But it's in concept, this is a fine setup. Like, okay, Thanksgiving with other people's families, that's like prison. You hide out in the garage. That's a pretty common Thanksgiving tactic. Or like, you know, you and the cousins, you can stand, pick up a football, and go outside. Like any of those like things you can do because playing football is acceptable, but playing video games isn't. So you play football.
It's inevitably every Thanksgiving where you start to see the memes go around where they're like you and your stoner cousin say, "All right, we're gonna go for a walk." You know what I mean? Like it's every year those memes go around.
Absolutely.
Every year I'm like, nice.
Yeah,
like,
absolutes. I was truly lacking in stoner cousins, and I'll never forgive my family for that. It you know, it's not bad in concept, but unfortunately, they just don't do anything with it. They put that idea there.
The best part about this plotline is the bumper.
Sure, the bumper with where she finds the hole. Yeah, that's fine.
The best part
classic Shawshank joke.
I think the last thing I want to say about this, because I really don't have much else to say about it. Surprisingly, one of the most effective uses of Pierce I've seen in a long time. When he's like, absolutely, I'm going to go fake an injury. And then he gets caught up and he's like, they love me. And then he makes a dumb racist joke about it. It's my night at the Apollo. And I'm like, fuck, you didn't need this. But, you know.
Come on.
Like, damn it. But like.
Not everything he says needs to.
Not everything he says needs to be racist. Can we please? Not
every line.
Right.
Not every line.
Damn. But like. I went that and I was like, see, this is an episode where I feel like Pierce is like very true to character in that like he's like, get me out of here, and then he's like, they love me, I don't care about any, like it's all about him. Like I was like, okay, props to the writing team for absolutely nailing that, right? Because that is nailed, like perfect characterization. They got it perfectly right there, which unfortunately seems to be lacking a little bit in some of the other characters throughout the seasons, at least so far. It's a lot of the characters feel like they're not full, like it doesn't feel like all of their bits are true to who we've associated them as being. Going on, I think you were talking about on Twitter when it's like, I love TV shows where you're always seeing the same sets, and then you go to a wedding and you're like, that's absolutely how that character would act at a wedding, right?
Yeah.
It's this whole season is like, is that how that character would act in this situation? And then for one moment I went, that's absolutely how Pierce would act at a black family's Thanksgiving. Like,
no, 100%. That was like, aha, we found it. We've hit it. You know, like that is a good character moment
You did it.
for this character
Fortunately,
who
you
has
did it
struggled to
right.
have any moments. And I'm not here to punch anything up, but if there was some way to get the dean in this garage, I feel like this plot would be 50% funnier. I
don't think so, and here's why.
Okay.
Wait, is it this episode?
The Thanksgiving episode?
Is this 5, the Thanksgiving episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we
With
are here
the-
already. No, I don't think actually having the dean there would have been a good idea, because we've already established that this is a homophobic environment, and they would
Oh, well, that's true.
they would not present good jokes with the dean there.
No.
It
Right,
Heard
because
it,
we
so,
get
like,
into
uh,
we get into this Batman runner that starts as Troy comes back. Okay, so the
part of it
all right.
tickles.
So allow me to begin. This Batman and Robin are gay thing is such 2006 internet. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah,
that
this
joke
is an old joke that they somehow managed to make feel even older when they brought
it
it
felt
TV.
out of date 7 years before this episode aired.
Yeah.
This, like, are Batman and Robin gay? It feels like bad 90s stand-up comedy, or it feels like
That joke
early-
tired since Spielberg put nipples on the Batsuit. Like, literally, was that Spielberg?
Schumacher, not Spielberg.
Sorry. I got my Batman
Steven
confused.
Spielberg. Yeah, that it's the tiredest fucking joke in the entire world. It's as funny as, like, oh, you ever notice that Mario eats mushrooms and, sees a bunch of weird shit? I'm like, yeah, great.
Very funny.
Yeah, cool.
Italian plumber made by a Japanese gaming company. Like, woo.
Yeah, very, very funny.
I've never heard in my life.
Yeah, it's this new joke. Can't believe you found one. And so tired, and then so it's already tired before it arrives here, and then the execution of it that Shirley's family thinks Batman is gay, which, like, Shirley's family probably wouldn't have much of an opinion on Batman at all.
The fact that it came up,
And if they did, he's a predominant cultural figure, they would probably think Batman's pretty cool, would be my assumption.
I just don't know how I feel about the fact that they brought it up at all. I mean, here's my take. First of all, Troy being forced into an awkward situation where he has to agree with a point that he vehemently disagrees with, funny. Like Donald Glover's performance and delivery of the line, you're right. When you put it like that, Batman is pretty gay. His performance of that, his delivery is brilliant. It's a brilliant delivery of a line that I hate, because
Donald Glover's fucking funny.
What
He's
it
fucking
implies,
funny,
it's fucking
man.
funny. God damn it! The thing, though, what it implies, though, it also implies that Troy thinks gay is bad, and we've already
Which I don't
seen that he's indifferent about it. When they say, "Oh, you and your boyfriend," and he just goes, "They're just jealous," right? Like, not only does that not imply that he doesn't find gay to be bad, in that moment, he's subtly implying that being called gay is something to be revered. He gets called gay, and he says, that means they're jealous.
Sure. They're trying to tear me down, but I don't care.
Right. Coming out of their mouth, they think they're saying something mean, but I don't view it that way. So for us to be able to see that he's able to remove the way people use gay as a mean thing, remove it from that context in his own lens, would make him... It just feels like they were like, let's throw a gay joke in there with Troy, and it's like,
It feels off. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel right at all. And then to, like, have that be the thing that reconciles Shirley with the group is like they have some bad opinions about Batman and Robin.
Like, it literally, it could have honestly been, honestly, and it would have been just as awkward and weird and bizarre, but even funnier, if it was something like where Troy was like, you're right, and then made some comment about Alien, how, like, the face huggers aren't scary, or
whatever.
Something about, like, you're right, Star Wars does suck. I mean, something, you know what I mean? That is very much clearly like, but they had to go and do a weird Batman's gay. It's like, literally, what the hell's going on?
It's like, what the hell's going on? This feels like, and I do not throw this around lightly, this feels like some Big Bang Theory shit. I'm sorry. It feels like...
You're not wrong.
It feels like the way that show, the writing on that show is like, N64. Look. N64. Look. Flash. Look at it. We see you, audience. You like Flash. We put Flash. Like, that's how it feels. And that's honestly kind of how I felt about some of the Halloween costumes they had, where I'm like, it's just Princess Leia. Like, that doesn't even fit Shirley's costume scheme throughout the show of being unrecognizable versions of famous characters. Right.
Gave her the most iconic look from the most iconic series, and like, yeah.
And other people seem to feel differently about the Calvin and Hobbes thing, but I'm also like, yeah, no, we all love Calvin and Hobbes. I agree with you.
I think, first and foremost, I love Calvin and Hobbes on Troy and Abed, but I love it more so as like a fanfic type thing. I think that the two of them would pick a far more obscure and nerdy reference for the two of them to make. Calvin and Hobbes is drastically low-hanging fruit.
That's how I feel. This is all like,
it's one of those things. If I saw fan art of Troy and Abed as Calvin and Hobbes, I'd be like,
I've seen it many times. Like, I've seen it like,
because it was in an episode
all over the
literally. But literally eat it up. Same thing with that, like we talked about earlier, the Troy and Abed in WandaVision thing. I was like, tasty. I love it, you know? But like, it doesn't feel right within what we've come to know about these characters and the decisions that they make and the way that they talk about things and the way that they express their fandoms. They're not gonna do Calvin and Hobbes group costume.
It doesn't feel right. Also, something that doesn't feel right is that Abed kept Dip in the fridge.
Thank you for pointing that out.
2 years, and it's another point in this season where I'm like,
back.
Abed knows about food expiration dates.
Yeah.
Like, Abed has some difficulty relating to other people. Abed is aware that food expires.
Right.
He's not a space alien.
I think it's especially wild because this is also the introduction of Abed's obsession with buttered noodles. And buttered noodles as a concept also directly implies an understanding of food being able to go bad. Because there's something about buttered noodles that doesn't go bad.
Indeed.
So he can just stock it up and forget about it. And I think the idea is like, you know, it's maybe there was one point where he forgot about something and he was like, oh wow, I found this dip in the freezer. It's been 2 years. I forgot about it. First of all, that would have been like, oh, it went bad. I'm gonna do things where things don't go bad anymore.
Annie would have cleaned that out immediately. Yeah, also, that would have been the first thing that Annie
would have never let him bring that.
No.
And I don't think he would have thought to bring it himself either.
He knows that Dip can't keep for 2 years. Like, it's another point where I'm like,
if he literally brought buttered noodles. If he brought a Tupperware full of buttered noodles to make
like, Abed and Troy are, like, often childlike, but they are not actual children.
Yes.
Like, Abed can see mold. Like, I don't understand this bit.
Why is it puffy? Oh, it's been in the back of my freezer for 2 years. Like, what? Something doesn't add up. I love how we said we need to get to the meat and potatoes of this episode, and we still haven't gotten there because we've been so caught up.
There's so much to discuss in this fucking. I take it back. Actually, there was a lot to discuss in this plotline. But let's actually get to the meat and potatoes of this Thanksgiving feast. So we finally, after learning about Jeff's dad in season 2, 2 years later, we meet. William Winger, played here by James Brolin, father of Thanos, and we also meet...
Oh my god, that's why he looks familiar. Holy
Because he kind of looks like Josh Brolin.
That's insane.
Whoa. He kind of looks like Josh Brolin. James Brolin, good actor in his own right. Like, you know, he had a storied career of many decades. And we meet Jeff Winger's, I guess, half-brother, Adam Devine's character, whose name escapes me.
It's
It's what?
William Jr.
Oh, it's Will Jr. Okay, well, that checks out. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Adam Devine?
I like him in a lot. I like him in a lot of things. I don't always love him. I think he can sometimes be a little bit one note, but at the same time, when he's in his stride, he does a very good job. I think he does a pretty decent job in this episode, though. I think he with what I mean, he's got a tiny character, and they barely gave him anything, honestly. But
they gave him nothing. They
gave him nothing.
My least favorite character description, which is this guy's weird.
Yeah,
and that's the extent of the definition. It's always a bad idea comedically.
They implied that he was a major character for the plot, and then presented his character as minor, and it's kind of difficult to kind of reconcile those ideas as a viewer, as an observer.
Because there's so much that could have been done in a really down, like an actual like horrible family dinner between
Literally,
William Jr., Jeff, and even Britta. If you want,
we
to
never see all four of them sit down together. We never get that.
No.
Additionally, we see Britta's gonna be like, I'm gonna go talk to him, and we get like a half a second. I would have absolutely loved to have had Britta and Will Jr. in a room together, but it's so clear that they don't actually know who these characters are at this point that they just didn't even try to write those characters together. You know what I mean?
Indeed. And I like the addition. I'm glad that Jeff has someone at the Thanksgiving with him, and I think Britta is the best choice. I think to have
the obvious choice as well,
frequent,
but like,
his frequent foil, his best friend, Britta Perry, I think that's a good choice, especially after all the work they've done in the season so far of like Britta is actively trying to bridge this gap between Jeff and his dad. So she would absolutely intervene here. That's a perfect choice. And they give her like a few good jokes, but she doesn't. My problem here is that neither she nor William Jr. modulate or affect the plot in any way.
Do you know? Well, Britta gets him to turn around and come back, but that's literally in the form of a gag. I realized as you were talking, and I was reflecting back on this, there was a moment in this episode that, now that I think about it, was a very clear moment for me where I went, oh, I see what the writers did with Britta this season. They turned her into a pair of glasses.
Yeah, they really transformed her into glasses.
They were like, oh, she wears glasses now, and it started as like a haha hipster glasses joke, throwaway joke, but they were like, but actually that's actually that. I'm starting to realize,
especially these
the
two
hipster
back
glasses,
to back.
Yeah, it's also like, oh no, the history, had a stroke. The
hipster glasses have taken over her character.
Yeah, but also I'm realizing the hipster glasses wasn't the first thing. I think they were like, what were you going to do with Britta? And they're like, Britta wears glasses. She wants to be a therapist, so she wears glasses. And they were like, hey, speaking of glasses, there's a hipster trend, and they threw in some hokey joke in the opener. But like, yeah, I just remember seeing her like really up in the camera, and you just see these glasses, and I was like, they literally turned one of the most quirky and bizarre characters into a pair of glasses. She is a pair of spectacles in this season.
Right. It's like the thing you hear often directed to actors in heavy prosthetics, specifically like Star Trek actors, is like, Leonard Nimoy never let the ears do the acting for him, you know? But it's unfortunate that we have turned Britta into a sentient pair of glasses on a stick, just like a lightly puppeteered. She does a great job with
what she's given, but I
love Gillian Jacobs. That is not the issue here.
No, I think honestly that it was honestly what the writers gave her. I'm talking specifically not even in her performance. I'm talking about the way that she's characterized in the writing. She's just a pair of glasses. Like there's nothing for me to hold on to with Britta so far.
It's like every time her character has dialogue in the script, there's a parenthetical that says "with glasses." It's the stage direction. Glasses
like they somehow managed to like even further objectify her as like she's like an assistant. She's not a plot device. She's not assistant plot device. She's assistant to the plot device, right? So like she's like several layers of like the hierarchy of this like plot. It's like it's okay. So Jeff needs to do this. We need these other things to happen. It's like, oh, just toss Britta in there, and that's what we'll do with her. You know, it's like I don't.
Right.
It just feels very loose and not pulled together. That being said, though,
yeah,
surprisingly, this episode does have two Jeff moments that are actually some of my favorites.
Is the Winger speech one of them?
To his dad?
Where he talked to his dad, where it's like, I gave myself an appendix scar. Yeah, that's a good speech.
An amazing monologue. Like, like specifically for Jeff, but like that's a good monologue, and it was really impressive to see that. And then also at the very end where he's like, "I made us Thanksgiving, And it was like, oh, it's one of those moments where it's like, it did feel a little fan servicey, but it was nice to see after we've been.
It was good.
It was good, especially after we're going through all this stuff where I'm having a harder time connecting to these characters that I've been so connected to be able to be like, oh, but they love each other,
There it is. There it is. Yeah, it's as much as I feel like there is some dangling potential in this plot that is not taken, it's also not, like, it's not bad in any way. I think it's effective. I think this story is good. It works for Jeff's character. This is the most I've liked his character in the 5 episodes so far.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most it feels like this is how Jeff would handle this situation. He tried to pass it off as casual. He tried to just have a drink, but Jeff's never going to be able to keep that forever. He'll try and bury it. He'll try and keep it down, but he can't.
I like the idea that this kind of break happens also right when. So they start off and they're like, we're going to set some ground rules, which is like honestly great. We love seeing people set boundaries. And then when his dad says, I'm going to break the boundary, I'm going to break the ground rule real quick. And that's when it happens. I think that's honestly just smart writing. Credit
Absolutely.
where credit is due. That is, as far as like an episode where they're trying to at least somewhat lean into like therapy and that kind of idea. The idea of setting a boundary, and then once that boundary is disrespected, that's when things go south. That's a really smart way of presenting that, and kind of, integrating a sense of the situational irony within the moment, as well as just like a natural flow to it. I was like, oh, this is cool. And also, no shade whatsoever, some of the best acting we've seen from Jeff.
Absolutely. I think Joel brings it in this episode.
Joel McHale really does a great job with his acting in this. It's
and he brings a lot of different modes.
Yes.
He brings a lot of different styles and positions of Jeff, and a lot of different shades of this character that he's played for years. And as much as sometimes I'm not sure this plot line is really like servicing him to the optimal effect, I just feel like I think we needed like one more punch up on this plot so that
it did feel super premature.
The William Jr. thing, like, it just doesn't pay off in any meaningful way. And the Britta Therapies thing doesn't really pay off in any meaningful way.
It's Jeff not knowing his dad feels like a small character trait that they then, for season 4, went, let's do something with this. And they didn't allow it to kind of grow before it bloomed. You know what I mean? It bloomed prematurely.
This is such a, like, build up that they've had, like a couple seasons of this, that I think we just needed like more time.
We needed more time, or even like more direct. The thing is, it could have been effectively done by season 4. It is season 4. Like, they could have done it by season 4. The thing is, it's brought up so infrequently throughout the first few seasons that it doesn't have the gravitas that it needs for you to have a full confrontation episode without us fully understand. Like, it's usually a throwaway, like, nah, my dad left, fuck that guy, and then that's it, right? When you say that like 3 times over 3 seasons, the audience can just kind of accept that and be like, yeah, that's just kind of a given circumstance,
Yeah.
And they made it something
good. It should make me cry.
Yes.
Like, this should wring every emotion out of
Kevin, question
in
for
this moment. Yes, indeed.
Did it?
No. And it hasn't. And it's not that I think that it's bad. It's just not taken to its fullest potential. There's some wet left in this rag. We didn't wring it all out. We kind of wrang a little bit out and called it good. But we needed to like torque this thing and really wring something out of it. And like Adam Devine is fine. He's I get why he's the workaholic that broke out. Like, I get why he became the movie star of the 3 of them. He needs direction.
He's
one of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's one of those actors that can be very effective. I really like him on the HBO show Righteous Gemstones that I've just started watching.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that.
Because he's playing character. And it's still, like, noticeably Adam Devine, has his, like, comedic sensibilities and all that, but he's playing a character in a context, and he needs that. And that's not me, like, knocking him as an actor. Some actors, I'm like, yeah, you do whatever you want, and I'm fine with it. Adam can be really good if he's given a direction and a purpose, and this episode doesn't give him that.
You know what he's really good in that I saw recently, actually?
What?
There's this indie horror film called The Final Girls. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have heard of that. Everybody loves it. I have not gotten
It's really
around to
fun. It's a really fun time. If you like movies, if you like horror movies,
I do.
You'll like it. It also has
Thomas Middleditch is in it too,
that's
right?
literally who I was gonna say. Yeah, and he's great. He's great in it.
Oh, of course, he's always great.
It's a great cast doing a great job with a really fun, campy take on a contemporary lens on like 80s horror flicks. Like, it's really fun. Adam does a great job in that, and it's clear because he's got such a strong understanding of the direction that his role is supposed to be. And I think for someone as charismatic as him, if you don't give him like, with free range, he'll go, and that's amazing. Like, that is a gift that he can just go out there, do anything, right? He's got stamina, he's got presence beyond belief. So much
absolutely
charisma. And it's just like, it's one of those things, it can get lost because there's so much there. It turns into him just throwing a bread roll. But even when he's doing these like kind of like off the rails, maybe pull the reins in kind of performances, I still like it.
Yeah.
I think
I like him.
Doing like stuff that I'm like, okay, that's just like lowbrow for the sake of being lowbrow. But also that was the genre. He came out of Workaholics,
Right, he came out of Workaholics, which was like, I don't love it. I think it's fine. But it's very much like it's people ad-libbing dirty things.
It's a show famous for that is so totally not tight butthole.
Yeah, exactly. That is the breakout joke.
That's the takeaway from
Workaholics.
Something tight butthole, something loose butthole, and you're like, what the hell's going on?
What the hell's going on? But I get why he broke out. I get what he's doing here.
Absolutely.
He just needs a little direction. He's very good on Righteous Gemstones, and the white male centrism that is so inherent to so many comedies works really well for the Righteous Gemstones because it's and he's spot on, and it's a show about contemporary American Christianity, so white male centrism is part of it.
Okay,
the inherent like racism. It's on HBO. I've really been enjoying it. It hits that itch that I'm like, oh, it's comedy with like actual filmmaking in it. It's comedy where they don't just like set up the camera and say ad lib. There is ad libbing, but it's like actually directed.
You can tell if there was a shot list on the docket. They came in with a plan for the day.
Exactly, and it wasn't just like shot camera here, camera reverse on that, and we're just gonna cut this together somehow. Like, it's actual direction, and it has, I think, so far some really. I've only like 4 episodes in to the one season that exists so far, but it's an actually like interest. It's hitting me in my like rural Missouri Christian upbringing. In that I was like, so much of what I'm grappling with all of this is being thrown up here on the screen. So I would highly John Goodman on the show, Walton Goggins, great cast. Edie Patterson, Danny McBride, hit it up, great show.
Maybe I will.
Anyway.
Maybe I will.
Maybe
you know what? I might.
Yeah, I chased it right after Vice Principals, which is another show a lot of the same people made.
Don't know that one.
Which I liked that. It had problems that it never got over, but those problems are less emblematic in this show because A, they fix a lot of their issues, but B, some of their issues actually work as the text. Some of the issues that these shows have of like their characters throwing out like casual misogyny and racism as part of like their joke palette work in this context as part of the story they're telling, not we're gonna take a second and do like a misogynist.
It reads more so as satire or critique than it does just like we're just gonna make some off-color jokes because we can.
That's exactly right. You nailed it, and you ain't even seen it. You absolutely got
Well, I'm familiar with the concept, and I see it way too
absolutely.
much. It's the whole thing with like contemporary critiques of satire. It's like right now everything is so freaking absurd at this point, and people don't realize that satire, like people just do satire and they're like, it's funny, we can call it satire. It's like, it's not satire because you're not actually, it's not clear it's satire, you know?
You're not doing a comment. You're just saying
doing
the bad thing.
and then you'll be like, oh, it's satire. You're not making a comment. You're just doing the bad thing, and because it's so absurd, you in your own circle like, see, it's satire, and the people outside of your circle think that you're on their side.
Exactly.
You're just giving a platform to the bullshit, and I'm like, no, please don't do that.
Precisely. Thank you. Let's transition to the next episode.
Please.
Season 4, episode 6. Advanced Documentary Filmmaking, directed by Jay Chandrasekhar, written by Hunter Covington. In this episode, Greendale is once again the set of a documentary, this time trying to get to the root of Chang's Changnesia problem. Here's my big problem with this episode, which has some jokes I like, some things I enjoy. Here is my fucking issue.
This one hurts.
It is an entire episode about Changnesia, and there is no meaningful advancement of the Changnesia plot. At the end of it, we are not in a meaningfully different place than we were at the start of it.
They have the little bumper thing that's also, like, it's kind of confusing, like, honestly. It does kind of, like, and they're like, and now all the development in the entire episode right here in 3 seconds. And like, but, like...
It's like, oh, okay, so every moment in the episode leading up to that end tag would say, oh, he actually, like, does have Chang, like, okay, we're actually, like, doing this.
They spend an episode being like, no, but really, and then to get, like, it feels like they're saying, audience, you need to get on board with this, so we're gonna just take an episode to get you on board so we can accept this as the new normal. And then at the very end, they throw it all away,
all in the trash, literally in the trash.
Literally in the trash.
They throw it literally in the trash. It is beyond frustrating. It is also, there's Pierce Hawthorne should be in jail. Also,
oh my god, it's one of those things where it's like, no, and they're like, we can turn it into a plot device. Jeff makes them do this so that they don't, but it's such a throwaway, and it doesn't affect anything anyway, that it's just there for no.
It doesn't affect anything.
It's just there. It's not. It's just racism for the sake of racism, and you're like, dude, why? You also, can we talk about the fact there's an entire episode of this fucking show that they removed because of blackface,
But we kept this one.
We kept this one where they not only they literally flat out say, yeah, I'm going to do blackface.
And yellowface.
And yellowface, but they're hand puppets, so I guess it's okay? For some reason, I'm like, this one fucking sucks.
This is the thing that quibbles me about the fucking Dungeons and Dragons situation.
Can you spell that for me? Quibbles? Was that Quibbles?
Yes, it quibbles me. I couldn't think of the proper word because I'm fucking apoplectic at this. That, like, we left in the episode where Pierce does actual brown face. We left in this episode where Pierce does brown and yellow face on his hands. You're gonna pull those? Because these are, like, actual... He is actively doing the thing that you pulled the other episode for. He is actively doing it.
Right.
With that intent. If intent versus execution is part of it, this is also his intent.
This is also intent. Yeah, it's very... They literally call it blackface in the episode.
Pierce himself refers to it.
No. Yes. He refers to it himself as, I'm doing this. It's so uncomfortable.
And
unfunny.
Also so not funny. Also
intensely
not
unfunny.
Like, if the argument for, let's say, Tropic Thunder. Are you familiar with the film Tropic Thunder?
I have seen Tropic Thunder.
Okay. That you know how once a year 16-year-olds on Twitter.com rediscover that Robert Downey Jr. did blackface in a movie? That every year there's...
did a character that's in blackface?
Yeah, that did a character that's in blackface. And we can argue whether or not they, Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. have any right to, like, put that on the screen, even if they are being ultimately satirical of actors that think they can do these parts.
White actors getting some pretty intense awards for terrible misrepresentations. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's actually a weirdly good analog to actors that think they can
Jared
play
Leto
trans
accepting
characters.
a fucking Oscar for being a trans woman with a full beard.
Oh, you knew it.
Which is literally violent. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, you knew exactly where I was going with that. That,
Yeah,
like,
I did.
okay, it's actually kind of an interesting commentary on this idea. But also if someone said, like, this is actively harmful no matter what their intent was, I would be like, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, no, I will.
For sure. You're right. This is blackface. This is not really
No, absolutely. But if intent or purpose is the part of this argument, this episode doesn't even... I am actually astounded that this made it to air on the National Broadcasting Corporation in the year 2013. I am astounded.
You know what's the other thing that's really wild about this episode? Right?
Go for it.
So we talked about with Dungeons and Dragons whether or not losing this episode contributed or took away from the plot from the season. You could argue both, honestly, because it's not main plot, but it is a pretty massive development, and they do refer back to it a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
This whole episode, specifically, right? Not the one where Pierce does brown face and they break the dean out of the jail cell, which is a very large plot movement, right? This one, a very large plot movement, sounds like a poop joke. Anyway.
I gotta go have a plot movement. I'll be right back.
But, like, literally this one, you could get rid of it and nobody would notice.
You could remove this entire episode.
The whole episode.
You could remove
the entire episode. Gone. Nobody would notice. It's like it's a chaotic episode of nothing. And the only thing it does that actually serves any sort of payoff is like it feels like there's a throwaway joke a couple episodes earlier where they're like, we could get a grant for it, get some money for the school or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and then they're like, okay, let's show us like applying for the grant in some kind of goofy way. They didn't need to show that, right? And I think the other thing that's equally infuriating is we've done documentary episodes a couple times now.
This is the third occasion.
This one is the only one that I can decidedly be like, here's the deal. At a certain point in the episode, it's no longer the documentary and it's just a regular episode, and the documentary was part of the episode. The rest of the episodes that are documentary episodes, I'm almost positive from top to bottom is presented as if it was the documentary.
Yes, it's
maybe a few moments taken out, but like this one just breaks that, and it doesn't structurally have the same confines. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I absolutely know what you're talking about, because the other documentary episodes use the form of the documentary to tell their story, right? Because there are certain inherent ideas that, again, it kind of goes back to the puppet thing we were talking about, is there's certain things our brains understand about the way stories and visuals unfold in these programs, even people that don't study TV. One of the examples I can think of is that the partner and I just picked up season 2 of Barry after watching season 1, really enjoying it, but was like, let's take a break between seasons. Let's let this sit and then circle back. And I was like, literally, and the season 1 cliffhanger is so intense that I'm like, how are they going to walk out of this? And the solution is, we're going to jump forward a little bit in time between seasons, so we don't actually have to craft a scene to get us out of this situation. Which sounds like cheating. I just think that's using the medium to your advantage, and using like the gap between seasons as an advantage in part of your storytelling, right? It could be construed as cheating a little bit, but I don't particularly see it
I
that
hope
way.
for your sake that they have a flashback at some point to kind of wrap it up.
We get the gist of what happened during that break, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I have no idea how I would write the scene that they would have had to write, but it uses, in essence, it uses the gap between seasons as part of the storytelling device, which I think is a good use of the medium you're working in. And they do the same thing in the documentary episodes, right? We talked about this a lot, especially in the season 2 one where they're in the hospital. That they're not just doing the documentary as a cute thing. They use the documentary to tell that story, and there's certain beats in that episode that could not exist.
Exactly.
Told in a usual way. I don't feel that at all about this episode. I don't think...
No, this episode, they turned it into, oh yeah, Abed does documentaries sometimes. It would totally make sense if the dean asked him to make a documentary. Boom. And then they throw in a joke where Britta's like, I'm into documentaries now. Abed, teach me how to use a camera. And he's like, you know...
And that's
like,
it.
What the hell's going on?
There's no...
That's it.
Is that payoff? Is that setup?
We don't gain anything from it being a documentary.
And they do
and that's the thing that separates this season from the prior ones. Whenever they do some sort of kind of pastiche or reference in this season, it doesn't contribute to the overall arc or vibe or tone or movement, aesthetic. It doesn't contribute anything. It just acts as like loose reference to character to make up for the fact that the characters aren't fully understood in the same way.
Right, absolutely. And it, I appreciated, like, the few, like, documentary, like, references I got in this episode. There's, like, the Grizzly Man reference. It's a little, like, shoved in there, but that's, like, a cute reference. And there's a couple others.
What you're talking about.
At the end, when Abed is like, this scene is too intense, I can't show it to you, but you can watch me watch it, is a direct reference to the Werner Herzog documentary Grizzly Man, where... there is indeed footage of the Grizzly Man being consumed by the grizzlies, but Werner Herzog, the documentarian, says, I cannot show this to you, but I am going to show you me watching this footage to give you the idea of its impact. I'm not a documentary expert by any respect. That is kind of like a notorious, famous, kind of divisive moment.
It
is
sounds
that like
crazy?
Should the documentary is this?
What is the obligation a documentarian has to its audience?
Indeed, exactly, and is the documentarian then making themselves too much part of the story, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I appreciate that reference. There was like another one I can't think of it right now, but. Otherwise, like, they don't even use the talking heads as setups or punchlines for jokes. Like, you would at least expect that to be the minimum.
That cross, like, using the medium to your advantage, and they're like, no, they're not using it to their advantage, they're just using it as throwaway gags. It's, there is,
there's one that kills me. I think there's one actually, like, really great use of that form in this episode.
Is it when Abed goes up to Jeff?
No.
And it's like, there's two bits with Abed going to Jeff that I actually do enjoy. It was just, where Abed goes, Jeff, what do you think? What do you think about the whole Chinese thing? And he goes, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And he goes, all right, great, that was awesome. Can we go back? Can we reset? Back to one? Jeff? And he just, that's a great bit.
No, that's a good bit.
But it also, that's a bit that literally did not have anything to do with the episode.
Yeah.
But it's a good bit. And then the other one is, what are your thoughts on this? And it's like, I can't believe it. Can't believe what? All of it. And he goes, great, awesome. Now can I get that all at once? Like, I can't believe all of it. And then he just walks away. He's like, fine, I'll edit it in or something like that.
I think they do that bit with Jeff like 3 times, like right in a row, basically at the beginning of the episode, and that's okay. Right. That's fine. The one that
they did make me.
The one that gets me is Britta explains her theory to the camera, and then the camera like pans out a little bit, and the scientist guy is behind her, and he's like, "Actually, that's
put in the science music."
Yeah, that was a good bit. That is an excellent.
And then they give that like comic book science explanation. Actually, that's not true because science says that if blunt force trauma to the head was the reason why he became a good person, it also means that blunt force trauma to the head is how he became Benjamin. And it's
like that's stupid, but fine. That's your
stupid,
rules.
It's stupid. It's like, okay, well, yeah. I credit that moment to really good sound editing. Like, there's a really fun little like song that they start to like pump in ever so subtly when
Using the
the
medium
scientists
to
start
tell your
talking.
joke. Using the
It's
medium.
good. It's good. It's when they do it right, they do it right. You must give credit where credit is due. But like,
Absolutes.
yeah.
I will also give them deep props for the absolute, like, pull out of the San Marianas Trench Senora Chang, who we have only seen one time
Yeah.
3 seasons ago. That is a good pull for this
No,
episode.
that was a good reference.
Just absolutely like dragging that out and putting it there and using it as, I think, a fairly effective beat in the episode.
Yeah.
But again, none of it adds up to anything because we don't learn anything about Chengnisha in this episode. It doesn't advance anything. It doesn't progress us in any way. I'm going insane. I'm going insane trying to think
I could roughly say that this episode is pretty clearly about second chances and reminding us that all of these characters have had second chances, but that just plays further into what I see the episode as potentially being, which is reminding the audience that we need to give Chang a second chance as an audience. But of course, all of that is undercut because at the end, we throw it all away.
Right. So if I might slightly rewrite this episode, if I dare. If you want to do the bit at the end where you reveal that he doesn't have it, he was faking, because this city college, I'm working for city college thing never goes anywhere anyway, right? If you want to,
That's right. That's why he says he's doing it.
yeah, that's why he calls on the phone and then throws it away. And Ken Jeong's funny, so he's like, oh, why did I do that? And he fishes the phone out. It's a funny bit. The episode could have a really good emotional ending if Chang confesses to the study group that he was faking, but asks for that second chance that we spend the whole episode talking about, right? So instead of it being, no, he doesn't deserve a second chance, we rewrite this episode, which I try not to do, but it just punch it up a little bit to say, like, it's actually an emotional moment where he says, I know I fucked up, and I fucked up bad. And there's nothing that I can do to take that back. But I will ask you for the second chance that all of you got.
It's that moment that Kevin. It's the moment that Chang has with Jeff in the cafeteria, but make it legitimate.
Take it
right?
all the
where
way.
He says,
Take it
where
all
he says,
the way
I
and
know
actually do it.
what Chang did was terrible, and I wouldn't, forgive him either. But like, I'm gonna give you a second chance, right? That kind of thing. Take that, but actually, like, really, like, literally be like, hey, look, here's the deal. I did some really terrible things, and I want you to know that I'm aware of it. It's just so much easier for me. Oh, there's also a really subtle transphobic joke in this fucking episode.
Oh.
And it's so subtle. It's when Jeff walks up to Shirley. He goes, are you buying into this thing? And she goes, I believe Chang was born Chang, and Kevin is a choice. It's really subtle. It's really subtle
It's using
commentary
the
on
language
the idea
of transphobia.
and homophobia as well as and it's like they were like, it's funny because it's topical, but it's like you're literally not making any real sense. One, and two, what it ends up doing is it ends up kind of subtly implying that a person is the same person that they are born as, and the way that we have perceived them. It's an innately anti-queer perspective. It's an essentialist perspective, emboldened by this like really toxic, hegemonic perspective on a lot of. Oh my god, I can't get into the queer theory of it all. Essentially, I heard that line and it made me like on a deep level super uncomfortable.
Absolutely, because it's co-opting the language to fucking make this toss-off joke, which is always risky, which is always like, and ultimately, like, what is the payoff for using?
There isn't any.
Right, exactly. There's, I like the Shirley bit in this episode. I think the pacing is off of her, like crying like Britta fucks up the camera, and she does this like heartfelt thing, and none of it's recorded, and she's like,
I died for 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's a good bit. That's obviously like a pro, but unfortunately too often in these last 2 episodes we're seeing like bad sides of Shirley, like when the worse habits of Shirley Bennett come to the forefront, and it gets a little harder to laugh at
it
her
also
good jokes.
just, from an even larger perspective, it also rings to me because one of my biggest complaints about the way that Shirley was written is that it almost always feels like Shirley is an afterthought, or they don't really know what to do with Shirley. And this to me says, oh, let's have a Shirley moment. And the Shirley moment is them literally not giving her a voice. It just plays into that whole, like, well, it's, you know, she's the black woman. And then that's the extent of their understanding of this. And I'm like, that could have been a great moment to get to. It was. I mean, it's that moment that was about Shirley ended up being actually about Britta and how she can't work a camera. That's what the moment was.
Yes.
The moment centered around Shirley, but it's actually a story about Britta, and that's how all of her plot roles feel, with a few exceptions. And it always rubs me the wrong way because I absolutely love Yvette. Using first names like we're Judy's,
you
right?
and
like,
Y and B are on first name basis.
Yeah, we're tight like that. It's cute. But no, it just rubs me the wrong way when it comes to that. But no, there are some nice bits in this. You know, Kevin comes in, he's like, what? I don't even know how to. Chang walks in, and Jeff is like, I never said I was a lawyer. He's like, yeah, you did. And then he recites an entire scene. And it's like, it's my short-term memories getting better, blah, blah, blah. It's what my doctor said was, and then he looks around on his body, and then he pulls over and goes, side effects. Great bit. Paced expertly because...
And on his fucking elbow is written Rent Memento. Good.
Which is...
Good bit.
Reference.
Yeah. Good bit.
Yeah, we love it. We love a reference. I mean, it's literally just, that's Ken being a champ.
Ken can fucking deliver a joke.
Just about any line. Oh my god. No, there's another moment that literally warms my heart so much, though. It's all Ken. It's Chang looking through a microscope and he goes, whoa, this thing makes things look smaller. And he goes, no, bigger. And he goes, oh, bigger. And it's right after they described him. It's like, no, he's got like this newfound joy, like a young kid or an alien, or like a new alien on this planet. And the way he goes, bigger, it feels like something from a 90s.
Feels like fucking E.T.
Spielberg movie. This is what I mean, Spielberg, as opposed to what I said earlier. Oh my god, we're going full circle. My brain is not work, but that's what that moment feels like to me. It's like some goofy alien from a Spielberg flick back in like the 80s, 90s. Bigger. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's fucking classic.
No,
right
that
there.
Hits.
Yeah.
That hits. Ken's good. It's making me... I'm sorry. Can I rewrite the ending of this episode just like one more time?
I quite frankly don't give a shit. Rewrite it as many times as you want. We could toss the whole episode for all I care.
Okay, so I'm even going to keep it like it's Jeff and it's Chang at a table and it ends with that New Radicals song. I will keep all of these intrinsic elements. But you change the idea that Jeff has ever been convinced of this. And there's just you have a moment in the speech scene where like you actually see him relate to Signora Chang. And they just like, and Jeff feels empathy for this guy that he spent the whole episode hating. And you do this scene, and I think Joel and Ken are both capable of this, that you do the scene where Jeff knows that Changnesia is not real. And Chang knows that Jeff knows. But they have this 2-level conversation where without saying it, Jeff like lets him know like, you know, oh, Changnesia's pretty tough. You have been through a lot, and honestly, you've put us through a lot. But, like, he offers that reconciliation to Chang through the lens of talking to Kevin. And Chang, of course, not having amnesia. That would be
clever.
That's just
gets
like,
it, and then is able to respond in a similar way.
Without dropping the veneer. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, I think absolutely that would be an effective scene to have them both keep that kind of facade, that double speak, if you will. Mm-hmm. Saying one thing meaning another. That being said, based on the way that they build Jeff up in this whole episode, I don't think he would have offered him that moment for reconciliation. Jeff is like out for blood this whole episode, and then just drops it.
Yep.
I guess.
Then just drops it.
drops it. He's like, they tried to kill us. And he's like, why does everyone keep forgetting that? That's literally his whole MO the whole episode. And then he was like, well, I guess I'm going to forget that you tried to kill me too. It's a little odd.
It's a little odd. It's a little oddly put together. But, I don't know. It's obviously tough. I just think that this fucking Chinese thing should have ended in this episode. Somehow we drop this at the end of the episode that is about it. But no, it will continue on for the rest of the season. Everyone, buckle up.
Strap in.
Strap in. So let's do our end tags ranking for this week. Couple of all right ones.
Can I tell you that, like, I forgot about the end... Like, I vaguely knew about... I remembered a little bit the end tag for the Thanksgiving episode, but for some reason, because we've been talking about the first end tag from this season, when she's like, where'd she go? Where she goes, oh my. I have expected her to then clock the barrel and go, oh no.
Oh Lord, no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Down, like, literally like Porky Pig style in the middle of a circle in the middle of the screen. That's literally the framing that they presented it in. That's all, folks.
Oh, that would have been good.
I would have been like, what the fuck is happening?
Would have at least been like a nice payoff for that bit. Shirley reacts very well to finding out that Abed chiseled a hole in her garage wall.
This actually might be good. Also, is this the introduction? It's not the introduction of it, but it's one of the... In this season, it is the...
Yeah, daybreak. Just a little daybreak. Sprinkle a little daybreak in there.
So good. I associate... When I hear that song, I immediately think of Community.
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, this is the only show I know that song from.
What is I have a hard time believing that song existed outside of Community.
Right? No, that song began with Community. It did somehow, but it's in there. Shirley finds a hole. I'm looking in the 50s
what a
here.
Terrible way to refer to that.
It's unfortunately what happened. It's the literal events of the end tag. So I'm looking at this. It's like better than Betty White explains Inception, probably.
Yeah.
Number 57. Yeah. But, like, are we going above Koppelgangers here at number 52?
No.
Probably not. Okay. So we found our zone somewhere here in the mid-50s. Is this better than the Troy and Abed podcast?
No.
Okay, great.
Well,
backspace.
No, it's not.
Okay. New number 57. Shirley finds a hole.
You're the worst.
What would you call it? What would you call it? What would you call it? Counter proposal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Great. Chang trashes his phone. I think we're in the right zone here for that one as well.
This one's definitely higher.
A little bit higher.
So here's the deal. I don't like that it throws away the entire episode, but it is one super, super, super memorable. And two, it is really quite funny.
It's fun.
I would almost put it above Koppelgangers, actually. I think we could actually go up a decent amount for this little taggy tag. Do you hate this? Okay, it's not as funny as Do You Hate This? Well, there you go.
All right.
Literally go up
new
1 point. And
52.
I'm like,
Chang trashes his phone.
Do you hate this?
Do you hate this?
That's such
do
a
you
good
hate doing
tag.
this?
That had 50. Do you hate this? You hate this?
Do you hate this?
Oh my.
Do you hate doing this? Oh, Donald, we love you, bud. All right, episode rankings. Okay, Cooperative, Escapism of Familial Relations. We are looking a little higher than for me, this season 4 population at the very bottom. I think we're going up a few places here because I think there's a lot of moments in this episode that really work, as much as there are a lot of episodes that don't.
These episodes, like, at their core, bother me because not only do they, like, feel off, but, like, the way they feel off is, like, on an offensive level.
Yeah,
for me.
That it's like, oh, this is actively, like, bad. Like, not just, like, bad comedy.
It's like
it's bad
just
politics.
Not that great. It's, like, actively bad. Additionally, the Changnesia episode being one that we could literally do without puts that pretty low on my list.
That's bad. That's not a good start. start.
No. So as far as the familial something, the Thanksgiving, Spanish 101 is...
That's the second episode of the show.
Which one's basic genealogy? I'm going to do this every freaking episode.
Basic genealogy is Family Day.
Oh.
This episode's better than that one. A little bit.
Is it better than Spanish 101?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. There's parts of Spanish 101 I like, but it's...
Which one's social psychology?
That is the first Jeff and Shirley episode where Britta is dating Vaughn. And they,
this one's lower than that. I actually think pretty fondly of that, even though that's at 16.
I mean, it's at 69, nice. But it's tough competition here on the old community list. Okay, so environmental science is what we're at next, which is Green
Yams, is it?
Green Day at Greendale. No, it's the one with Fievel, the mouse, where they sing Somewhere Out There.
Oh, this one's worse.
Okay, yeah, it's not as good as them singing Somewhere Out There.
Somewhere out there.
As for
what if I sang the whole theme song just because Caleb's not here?
Oh, that'd be so funny.
I won't, just for the sake of consistency, but I just needed to. I just came across my mind. I was like, that would piss.
Cooperative Escapism of Familial Relations. Now, new number 71. Now we hit advanced documentary filmmaking. You were right. Bad start that it could be completely removed from even
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that the pimp is in the club, and we should drop it like it's hot.
Oh my god! Speaking of fucking 2005 internet, Jesus Christ! Oh god!
Yeah, just drop it all the way. What's the bottom?
All the
History
way.
101.
The bottom is History 101.
Okay, let's put it. Oh, turn of history of the church.
Honestly,
I would probably put it below Conventions of Space and Time. Would I put it below Alt History of German Invasion?
The problem with both is that they're very forgettable. That's the problem.
But so this one, nothing happened.
No, exactly. That's what
Honestly,
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I could actually put this as a 77. Like, now that I think about it, History 101. I get more out of Hunger Deans. Fuck, that hurts to say. I get more out of Hunger Deans than I do out of this entire episode. Maybe put it above it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
just above it. This is hard.
If for no other reason, Jeff feels much more in character in this episode than he did in History 101. You know,
that's true.
Like, at least this
it's
feels
so wild how
like Jeff. At least it has. This episode has that great visual reveal of the scientist behind Britta. This episode gave us that immortal screenshot. Britta Perry, basically a therapist. You know, like, it's not without merit. I guess no community episode is.
I guess maybe then I would put it above Alternative History to the German Invasion too, I guess. And just below Conventions of Space.
Yeah, if we're weighing the offensive aspects of both these episodes.
It's so wild how we have now gone from, like, we were in a period of really intensely, like, going straight to the top, being like, what's the best, and now we're arguing over which one's worse. It's a totally different game, and it is just as difficult.
It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel good to me.
It's certainly not a good feeling.
I hate this.
I would not recommend
I hate
it.
doing this.
That's a community quote, right?
Yeah.
What is that from?
I was doing "Do you hate this?" but I was reappropriating it.
I hate doing this.
I hate this. I hate doing this. So that's been our rankings. Jace, anything to plug this week?
Wow. When is this episode coming out?
In theory on Thursday, if I can get my editing done.
Oh, okay, great. If that is the case, then I'm going to just plug it one more time. Transpose Cabaret is going to be literally this coming weekend. From the 26th through the 28th is when it's going to be available for streaming. If this comes out later than that, you missed it. Sorry. But essentially, yeah, if you want more information on that, go to my Instagram or Transpose Cabaret's Instagram. So go to my Instagram at JACENZIEV, or Transpose Cabaret also works. That's Transpose, TRNS POSE Cabaret, Cabaret. It's going to be an all-trans virtual musical theater cabaret. It's going to be super exciting. $5 per device if you're trans, $20 per device if you are cis. Half of the proceeds will be going to For the Gwirls, which is a black trans-led collective that curates parties to fundraise money to help black transgender people pay for their rent, gender-affirming surgeries, smaller co-pays for medicines, doctor's visits, and travel assistance. It's going to be a great time. I'm really excited about how this project's coming together. The team has been an absolute joy to work with, and this cast is going to be just something so fresh and so new and so exciting. So go ahead and give that a little look-see. Get your tickies. And enjoy some theater from home, you know? Why not? Oh, man. The anniversary of being stuck at home is coming up really soon.
Coming up.
And we can feel it, you know?
Oh, I feel it in my bones.
It's like we're literally collectively coming up on a trauma anniversary, and we need to like collectively understand that and acknowledge that and really kind of work through that holistically and collectively. And it's gonna be rough as far as if this time of our life was an ice cream flavor, it would be Rocky Road. That is the last joke I ever make.
Oh.
I should have left it with the Snoop Dogg referential humor.
Christ. If this year were an ice cream flavor, it would be pralines and dick.
I hate it.
That's Wayne's World. You're welcome.
No way, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Movie I've seen almost more than any other, probably, in my lifetime.
It's a fun one.
It's a good movie. I'm a big Mike Myers fan over here, except for the really offensive parts.
That actually checks out. I don't know why I've never thought about you in relation to Mike Myers, but that really checks out. I feel like that sense of humor aligns with what I know of your sense of humor.
And I so admire their commitment to like, no, I'm gonna do a whole movie where I'm a British spy and also like his Belgian bad
movie?
guy.
I think you
and
said
then three exactly.
correctly.
No, to not only do that and then to say, okay, we're gonna do another one, and I'm also gonna be a big Scottish guy, and then we're gonna do another one, and I'm also gonna be a Dutch guy who eats his own skin. It's just like we don't make comedies like that anymore.
No, we really don't. I think the other thing that's so wild, not to go on a whole spy who shagged me tangent, right? But like literally, just the fact that like when that movie came out, like it was referential, like it was a comedy zeitgeist, like it defined comedy.
Absolutely.
And now so many of the jokes from Austin Powers became like comedy movie like staples. Like you know how you think back to check please, which you know used to be the funniest joke in movies,
and now it's
the
so toss-off reference of a hack joke.
Right, exactly. So much of what Austin Powers was those defining jokes that have then become hack jokes. So it's just a really wild thing to watch back.
But it's true comedic performance that we don't see often. If someone needs to write the fucking analytical text on Mike Myers' filmography, then I'll do it. I guess it's me.
I mean, Kevin, it sounds like you signed up for it.
Sounds like I already fucking signed up for it. The last Mike Myers movie I watched was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But let's see. Actual plugs. I will not plug this film. Though, Jason, if you're curious, I'll tell you about it after.
Okay, great.
I just watched on Hulu, where you can also watch In and of Itself. I just watched Nomadland, last year's Chloe Zhao movie. If you Marvel heads would know her as the director of Eternals, which has not come out yet, but you might be familiar that she's doing that. But it's a remarkable film about loneliness and Americana. It's a movie about like the people whose literal like livelihoods were taken from them by the economic recession, but done with actual like deft hands and empathy. It's not just poverty porn. It's not anything like that. It's a remarkable story about like the current American nomads. And it actually paired strangely well with me watching Taxi Driver on Saturday, which these are...
Oh my god.
These are both...
Which one? The remake or the original?
No, the original Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. But it paired remarkably well because these are both like music-heavy elegies about human loneliness, but they're sort of the polar opposites of what that human can do with that intense loneliness within the vehicle they surround themselves with. Made for a strange but interesting double feature. So I'll recommend that. I have a few like projects of my own stewing, but they're stewing right now. They're not ready to eat. The soup is not on. But we will be back next week as we continue through our gas leak year with 2 episodes that exist. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, look, you did not lie just then.
I told the truth. I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the cherry tree. This season, in my opinion, is desperately in need of some deaning. I hope these episodes are Dean heavy.
Anytime he comes on, I'm like, thank God.
Oh my God. This season is really like Dean light, IMHO, and so I'm really waiting for like him to pop in this here season of this here television show. But until next week, pop.
Pop, you know, just
Womp womp.
womp womp.
Womp womp. Wah, 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 wah.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.
That was quite a show, very entertaining.
Please tell your friends about this show.
Boopy doopy doop boop sex.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.